Thank y'all for coming. Huge win for our program. Gets us to 8-1 and 5-0 in our league, and this is a big win. App over the last 2.5 years has, along with Arkansas State, which we'll talk about later, has been the top of this league and extremely well coached. Their guys know how to win. Thought they battled. They had answers for everything we did, offensively and defensively. And I thought it was a great college football game. And I thought it was a great atmosphere. It's been a huge week for Troy Athletics, breaking ground on the new facility before the game, and then hosting this game, which is the biggest Sun Belt Conference game this late in the season in a long time. And setting up a even bigger game on Thursday night for the in front of a national audience. Thought our fans were great, especially our students. That's the loudest I've ever heard Veterans Memorial Stadium. Coached a lot of games here, and that was the loudest that I've heard it in the fourth quarter there when they had the ball and when Sidney Davis made the big play to set up our touchdown. So a lot of credit given to them. I challenged our students on campus all week. I challenged our fans. I'm not sure what our number was, but they were loud. And the ones that were here, I really, really appreciate them. And it sets up an even bigger opportunity. You know, I thought our defense, Vic Koenig and his staff did a great job. App has done a great job, you know, really over the last 2.5 years of running the football, and they tried to tonight, and they had some marginal success, but by and large, with the exception of one long run, I thought our guys did a great job. We took away their outside zone play, which is their bread and butter, and I thought that was big. Special teams, we were solid. Not our best, but we were solid. And then offensively, I thought we controlled the game the first half. They made some adjustments at halftime that took us a while. We went to our option game, which has been good to us, and we were able to get the lead. And just great protection on the last drive and huge play by Brandon Silvers and Sidney Davis setting up that touchdown. So with that, I'll open it up for questions.
Coach, talk about Brandon Silvers, just leadership on the field. You could definitely see that in the second half. Huge run, but that huge play, just huge throw. Then just talk about his leadership.
Well, I thought he pressed a lot early in the game, and that happens. You know, right or wrong, we haven't been in a whole lot of games like this, and we tried to approach it just like every other game all week. But they're on social media. You know, they're reading what y'all are writing. They're watching what you're reporting on, and they knew this game had ramifications. And I thought we pressed. I thought he pressed. I thought some of our better players really pressed early in the game, and my message to them at halftime was just, hey, you know, let's just make routine plays. Let's make routine plays. We don't have to do anything extraordinary. And I thought there late in the third into the fourth quarter, I thought that's what he did. You know, on the last play, the next to last play that Sidney Davis caught with pass interference, that was a play that he got to his third progression. I thought the offensive line really did a good job. You know, we rushed to the line. We had 3 timeouts, and my philosophy is you don't use your timeouts right there, because if you don't get it, you want to be able to get the ball back. And I'd rather not use my timeouts on offense. I'd rather use them defensively. So, but we hit a big play, and then we ran the ball in, you know, the very next snap. So, but Brandon did a nice job.
Can you talk about what this means even from a national perception?
Well, I think it's to be determined. You know, I think what it does is it validates us within our league nationally. You know, that I don't know yet. You know, I think it's to be determined. I know this. We're 8-1. Our only loss is to the number 2 or number 3 team in the country at their place with a questionable call that made a 14-point swing in the game. So, you know, we've lined up and played everybody that we're supposed to, and besides that game, we've won them all. And I know this. I think having the national stage on Thursday night against an Arkansas State team that's won our league, or been co-champions at least, I think 3 out of the last 4 years, I believe. So I think that's probably a bigger opportunity just because of the national TV audience.
Coach, when you look down and see Brandon Silvers as the second leading rusher for your team, what's your reaction?
Well, it's this. It's that's a package that we put in back in January. Really, coaching wise, we made a decision that the 2 best teams in our league last year that we played, we didn't play Arkansas State, but the best 2 teams that we played last year were Georgia Southern and App State, and they had a lot of success with some option plays. So I felt like for us to get our defense prepared to play those type teams, that we had to really install it offensively for us. That way our defense is seeing it 15 times in spring practice and then another 18 times in fall camp. So we did. So we got a lot of reps logged into that, and it's something that we've held. We used it against South Alabama. We've used it, and really since the South Alabama game, we've had some success with it. It's been good to us. We've used it with Sawyer when he played early in the year, and then with Brandon here, really since the South Alabama game, and he did a good job. He's got a good feel for it. He did a lot of that kind of stuff at high school back at Gulf Shores.
You ran straight into the teeth of that defense, which was ranked 6th in the nation coming in with Georgia. What does it say about Jordan to have that kind of production and about your offensive line, really?
Well, I think Jordan's a stud. He was a little banged up coming out of that game last week, and practiced. He pushed through practice, which is important. I sell our guys on the fact that you have to practice to be able to play in the game, and he pushed himself through practice. And we took care of him, but I could tell early in the game he had a good feel. And we kept them off balance early in the game. We did some different things in the run game than we had shown, and then in the second half they made some adjustments, and we really struggled there in the third quarter especially. But I thought Jordan did a nice job not having any negative runs. That's the biggest thing I can say about him. He didn't have any negative runs. He's a load to tackle. I thought he got north and south, and he's a really good player. He's a really good player, and anytime you play these games where you got two great defenses, I knew it was going to come down to running the football and special teams. That's what it is. And, for a guy that's background throwing the football around for the most part, that's something as a head coach that I've learned is, hey, we got to make our defense better. We got to give our defense opportunities to win, and we got to be great on special teams. I don't know if we were great on special teams today. We were solid, but I thought we played really good defense, and we ran the ball against a team that's extremely difficult to run it against.
On the Sidney Davis play, what are the first two progressions?
Well, the first one was DeAndre Douglas on a kind of a sit route over the middle, and then John Johnson was a second read on an outside curl, and then Sidney had a wheel route, which was a third read that we had open several times during the game, and we got some, especially in the first half, we had some pressure on that, and then Brandon had come off of it too soon a couple times. So I felt good. I felt really confident with the play.
How big was it actually going up 14-0 in this game instead of trailing?
Well, here's what I think is I thought our guys were ready to play. We prepared really well. I didn't know if we were going to win the game, but I knew we were going to have a great opportunity because we prepared. Our guys were locked in all week. We sell them on being process focused, and I know that gets talked about a lot in the state, but all it is focusing on what's next. That's it. That's what's next. And our guys bought into that. We were prepared. We had probably as good a pregame as we've had all year. We switched a couple things up in practice. We switched a couple things up before the game to get our guys coming out of the locker room strong, and they answered the bell. And let's be honest, it was a freak play that changed the momentum. You know what I mean? Like Sam catches the ball, and the ball kind of slips down to his hip, and they take it from him and run in on touchdown. So it's a funny game. So I understand, hey, that ball bounces a lot of different ways, and I thought our coaches did a good job of kind of staying even keel, and our kids feed off that.
Sidney Davis, is there something about his personality that allows him to deliver in the clutch? Because this is another game that he did. So. Well,
the thing that I'm the most proud of about Sidney is this: he's a selfless guy. Okay, came in here late, has really gone about his business in a quiet manner. You think about it. His first day on campus was the first day we practiced in the fall. And he's got a quiet demeanor, but he works. He learns. Means a lot to him. His playing time probably hadn't always been what he thought it should be or what he wanted it to be, but I've never heard him say a word about it. All he did is show up on Monday and go back to work, and he just continues to make big plays. And the thing that I'm probably the most excited about, he's a sophomore. He's a sophomore. We get him in an off-season program. What kind of player can it be next year?
Couple more. Coach, one thing that was constant, even when the offense struggled, your defense has carried you throughout the season. Just say a few things about how strong that defense kept you to where you got to the points to win this game.
Yeah, and let me say this too. I don't do this enough. I try to do as much as I can, but our assistant coaches are doing a hell of a job right now. And they are. It's you're dealing with an age group that's 17 to 22, and keeping guys focused, and especially being able to handle success that they've never experienced in their football career. I just can't say enough about our assistant coaches, and I mean that. Defensively, I felt like coming in the year we had the makings of a really good defense. I've got a lot of faith in Vic and schematically what he does. Our kids are motivated, and they ran the ball for 200 plus yards on us last year, 250 yards, and that's the mainstay of our defense. We want to be able to take away the run, and so that hurt. That was a pride deal where it really hurt us. So I thought our guys came back and they really stepped up and answered the challenge.
How nervous were you in those final 2 plays?
You know what? It's I don't know if nervous is the right word. Here's the thing: I can't do anything to control it. All we can do is make the call and let it be. So I have faith in our preparation. That's what it comes down to. And at that point, hey, if something freak happens, hey, it happens. It just wasn't meant to be. But I don't get too nervous. I probably got a little too upset at the officials a couple times, but other than that, I stay pretty low key.